I'm going to. This is going to be commentary mixed with rant, mild rant. So mm, oh, this banana is good. We black, we not supposed to eat bananas. Even though my Caucasian brothers and sisters look more like monkeys than me, I'm sorry. But whatever. Ooh, we are. But on. Now, where was I? Yeah, I should take my medicine. Wait a minute. So this is for my gut health. This is a herbal detox cleanse. I'm gonna do a swig of this nasty stuff. I should have saved a piece of that banana. Oof. This is some wormwood. Clean that gut out. This is none of y'all business. Y'all don't need to know my secrets. All my secrets. Telling you that one. It's a vitamin. It's a multivitamin. Um, and this is a milk thistle and dandelion. Work on that liver. When you get a certain age, you should take a multivitamin. I'm gonna go ahead do this nothingness pill with that. Then I'm gonna eat me something. Probably have me something else besides that banana. But this video was inspired by this special person who I've been talking to. And, it's not, we have a very long history. Um, but I'm, not rushing, can't rush, they're actually seeing somebody right now. So, they gave me their number so we could text each other. And so, I was doing innocent texts, nothing serious, They was being extra with the text, but I was doing, innocent texts because I could go at the pace you wanted to go at, right? I'm still grieving. I'm still dealing with, the loss of my husband. So, I mean, like, my body wants certain things that, if I'm being honest, my mind not ready for, you know. A girl do be wanting to get touched and rubbed on and made to feel beautiful and loved, you know what I'm saying? But mentally, you know, I have to ask myself, am I totally here for a relationship? I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a younger guy who, we never had sex. But we was talking to each other for maybe like a month on and off, because I think we started talking to each other the last week of November. And I was considering, being with him physically, to bring in the New Year's. I was considering it because we went on a date. He came and spent the night. Well, not spent the night, but came and spent a few hours and watched a movie by the residence where I've been staying. Um, we was talking on the phone every day, like we was getting to know each other. And right before, so we went half on a hotel room so we could spend the night together. And when we went half on the hotel room, I don't know, like that day we talked on the phone, and then that evening he just stopped talking to me. So I was like, I don't know what's going on. So to me, I took that as a sign. I sent him back his half of the money. Nobody went to the hotel room. The room was just paid for, and nobody went there because I decided to come to New York. Because I took that as a sign that I wasn't supposed to bring in the New Year with him. So this I booked the room on Thursday. On Friday, um, he didn't respond. So on Saturday, I sent him his money bag and said, I'm just going to go to the room by myself. On Sunday, I was on a plane, on my way here to bring in the New Year. So that night, around the time he got off work, he hit me up and said that he dropped his phone in water. But if you dropped your phone in water, when I cashed up you the money back, how were you able to put a heart emoji on me sending you the money back if you dropped your phone in water? So I figured he was gonna try to come with some whack story, and that was one of the reasons why I wanted to put some miles between he and I, so that I wouldn't be tempted to sleep with him. Just out of the fact that I knew our sexual chemistry was gonna be good because we have kissed. We have done a little bit of the precursors, like not like no head or nothing like that, but we've he's sucked some boobs, and we kissed a little bit, and I knew what he was working with, and I'm not really no size queen, so what he was working with was perfect for Mix Jackson. And I said Mix Jackson because my vagina is gender non-conforming. And so I really felt like me and him would have had a beautiful time, you know, physically, but it wasn't meant to be. It was, the ancestors had clearly got in the way and clearly said, don't you bring in the new year with this boy, this young man, this 31-year-old, immature. This not, you might want it physically. All signs are go. He ready, you ready, but this is not what we want for you in 2024. So, and it hurt me a little bit. There were some other things that were going on simultaneously. There were a bunch of moving parts that made me decide to get on a plane and come to New York. And since I've been in New York, I just, I'm seeing so much clearer, like just everything. I met a guy last night who was very attractive, and he was just so hungry, but he was acting so standoffish. Now, mind you, yesterday was physically the last day that um, my husband and I were together, and so um, I didn't want to be laid up with no man on the last day I spent with my husband. Um, However, I did entertain some conversation, but I didn't no, I didn't drink yesterday because I didn't want to be in a position to let the liquor be talking for me, and My inhibitions be a little free. I ain't smoked no weed yesterday. I ain't do none of that yesterday because I wanted to be totally clear headed on any choices or any decisions that I made. Because at the end of the day, I'm grown, and I honored my husband, and my husband know I love him, and he know I care about him, and he also knows that a girl have needs and desires and wants. And I haven't been intimate in nearly 2 months now, um, because I just been really, really just trying to focus on me, and I'm not in a rush. Last night I'm not going to even say I was tempted because he came in hot. The guy was talking about eating my booty, and I'm like, I thought maybe he knew that I was of trans experience because when he started talking to me, he was standoffish and he wouldn't talk to me up close. So I felt like, oh, okay, maybe he got the tea. But he didn't get the tea. He was being standoffish because come to find out through texting that he was married. But when a person is talking about eating your booty before he's talking about eating your vagina, like he's focused on eating your booty and he's being standoffish, this is how you know that the world we living in is so different because these were all the signs that he was on a download. And when I messaged him and said, I'm not thirsty to be with a download brother, and he was like, download, what are you talking about? Is it something that I'm missing? And I'm like, I didn't pay all of this money, you know, to get a vagina to have a man being standoffish about eating booty. Like, the math just ain't math, and why would I play myself like that? So he was like, oh, I didn't know you was trans and that. So he started coming with that dumbass language. I thought you was a real woman. You fooled me. Oh, it's the nursery rhymes. It's the ABC of it all. Like, what a world, what a world, what a world. It's just, and that's aggravating. Just having to deal with, it's 2024 and we still, it's like a loop with some of y'all. It's just like a loop. But anyway, that wasn't the point of the video. So anyway, I reconnected with another friend who I have known for 20 plus years, and they're currently in a romantic relationship with somebody who they haven't been with long. And we try to have all of these morals, like amongst black people. Like we try to act so self-righteous when we try to act self-righteous when it comes to incest and when it comes to homosexuality. Now, child molestation, incest is not really my business. I personally have never, when I was grown, when I was little, I ain't gonna sit up here and lie and say I ain't never, play hide and go get or hunch or something with a couple of cousins. Um, Never happened with my direct siblings. Some of them I didn't know. And my sisters never had any type of instances like that with my sisters. Um, but I'm not here to judge people who fall in love with their brothers and sisters. I don't understand it. Therefore, I am not going to condemn it. Now, pedophilia, um, messing with children, messing with beings who have not given consent. You know what I'm saying? Who cannot give consent. I don't understand that because a child has not developed its mind in a way to be able to give proper consent to sexual acts. But then you have to ask yourself, when is the age of proper consent if the brain doesn't finish developing until you're 26 years old? So, is it still pedophilia to have sex with someone who has not turned 25 and their brain haven't finished developing? Like, is that pedophilia for someone who is 30 years old or 35 years old to have sex with somebody who's 21 or 19 or 20? Like where do you draw the line? So that's a valid question. Like even with bestiality, if a cat is in heat and you help a cat rub one out because they can't rub it out for themselves, or you help a dog rub one out and they fully grown, because animals when they mature, they be ready to go for it. So if you help them rub one out or get one off, some people will say that, girl, that's disgusting, girl, why would you do that? But let me tell you something. If I couldn't get myself off, if I was just like throbbing and pulsating and the cum was right there and I just felt it, just ready to come out, and I couldn't get it out, I would want somebody to help me. I'm just saying, if I could not rub out my own nut, if it was right there, then I needed it, because I don't know if cats have wet dreams. I don't know if dogs have wet dreams. I don't know if they wake up. I haven't done my research. Maybe someone knows if cats and dogs have wet dreams. I've never heard. I know that humans can have wet dreams if they have not expelled in a certain amount of time. Then their body will naturally relieve itself. But do cats and dogs have wet dreams? Like, do animals who don't have opposable thumbs and can't get it with their hands, can they relieve themselves? Like, is it a way? Does it naturally, like, do they go to sleep and wake up and it's just wet stuff everywhere because their body has naturally relieved themselves? So I understand um helping your grown pet get a little relief. I don't have any judgment for incest. Like if you fall in love with your brother or your first cousin or your, like, I don't condemn that, because as long as y'all grown and y'all consenting, if you want to be with your sister, if you want to be with your cousin, that's your business. Like, we literally live in a culture where everyone, like when you go to church, you are brothers and sisters in Christ. This is sister so and so, this is brother so and so. When you go to Africa, it's my sister, my brother. Like, we live in a culture where everybody is your sister and your brother. So, and this is what gets me in the queer community. Like, when you have a family but y'all not biologically related, and then somebody starts sleeping with somebody in the family, we try to say, oh, this is weird, or oh, this is perverse. But in the church, when y'all saying, oh, this is sister so and so and this is brother so and so, or when you over in Africa and everybody calling each other sister and brother, like, we are born into a culture where we calling each other brothers and sisters anyway. So, like, it's just not making sense for me. Or, like, because we're not directly related to each other and calling each other brothers and sisters, that's okay. But if these people, say for example, you brothers and sisters, you biologically related and you never knew each other, you never met each other, and all of a sudden you meet each other and you're attracted to each other and y'all fall in love, do you now not be with this person because y'all found out y'all was related to each other? You know, and they say that your children could have deformities, but has that been proven that every time y'all, and then what if you're in a gay relationship? What if you two sisters that fall in love with each other? What if you two brothers that fall in love with each other and you can't make no babies? Like, I don't know. It's, to me, it's a slippery slope. my thing is, I have a problem with children who are not in a position to give consent being preyed upon by adults. But to a certain degree, I kind of get bestiality. I mean, I don't want, I'm not going to say I've never had a thought. I'm just like, the thought has never creeped into my head. Now, have I ever acted on it? No, I've never let a dog fuck me. But have I thought about a big old giant dog doing some file things to me? Have I ever thought about that? Now, this was an adult dog, right? Let me stop. But anyway, like, dogs are gonna do it regardless. Like, they're gonna be somewhere humping and doing it, cutting up and carrying on. Like, when biology speaks, they act on it. Now, humans tend to be a little different. Just because a child is physically ready, I don't think that it should be subjected to having sex with someone who is mentally superior to them. But, and then it's a slippery slope with that, because you could have an adult who is a little, who's mentally, they process information differently. And so they're maybe not as mature in their mind. And you could have a child who's 14, 15, 16 years old, been through a lot, extremely seasoned, and knows a lot. And you could have a 24, 25-year old that's a little, the elevator didn't quite make it to the top floor. They've been extremely sheltered. And so I do think that there are case by case basis. It's not a cut and dry, one size fits all conversation when it comes to, mixing and matching, between certain age groups. Because, like, your brain doesn't finish developing until you turn 25 years old. Well, what about beings who are 25 years old who have like this gene that's recessive, and their mind stays kind of childlike, and what about adolescents who have been through hell and back and are extremely seasoned in their thoughts, who have experienced a lot of things that unfortunately children shouldn't have experienced by the time they're 16 and 17 years old. Who's really the predator in this situation? So, like, so I mean, I started this video to talk about insecurity, and I kind of went all around the mulberry bush because I be processing a whole lot of things. But it's just, to me, I think that we are all conditioned in a society that gives us these um notions or these ideas that we try to hold each other to certain standards, like this is wrong, this is not right, and all of this is birthed out of our own insecurities, to tie everything that I've been talking about to this is birthed out of our insecurities about ourselves, our insecurities about what we know about the world, our insecurities about what we know about our partners, our insecurities in what we understand about what it is to love and what love is supposed to look like. And so all of our insecurities cause us to create all of these boundaries and rules, and to try to control, our partners and our relationships, because we don't understand, or we're refusing to understand or see things from another perspective. There are certain things that I will never go along with, but my mind is not closed to why other people might participate or why it might float another person's boat. You know what I'm saying? Like my mind is not closed to that. And for so long we've been taught, oh, that's perverted for you to think like that, or that's that's ungodly. That's against the Most High. The divine is omnipresent. So that means that the divine exists in the lowest, most debaucherous of spaces. If God, Goddess, the creator, is omnipresent, there is no crevice or corner of reality that being does not exist. And so to sit up here and say that the divine source is always sitting in some high place and is not involved in debauchery at any capacity is foolish. For those of you who speak about Christianity, when Jesus was here, Jesus hung with the prostitutes, the thieves. Jesus hung with the most debaucherous and depraved. And this was a representative of the Most High who was intermingled with all of the things that y'all look down y'all nose at. Because how can you judge it? How can you speak to it? How can you attempt to speak to the topic with compassion and empathy and a full view if you've totally shielded and sheltered yourself from it? This goes into Lil Boosie not wanting his children to see that scene in The Color Purple. How can you speak to what it was if you have not in some way entertained or experienced or have knowledge of? How can you give a full picture? It's just not realistic. Just you could sit off somewhere in a corner high up and protected and speak on something in which you have not fully engaged with. That's how can a teacher teach you about anything that they don't have experience or knowledge of? How can you even teach against it if you have no knowledge of it? How can you properly unpack and authentically dissect the issues if you don't have any experience? The math isn't mathing. And so, you know, to go back to insecurity, a lot of times we meet our next partner while we are with our current partner. To me, if you're insecure about grown-ups flirting with each other, grown-ups engaging with each other, if you're that insecure, you need to be by yourself. Because we live in a world where people just gonna flirt with each other. You know, I'm at the point in my life, I ain't giving my man a pass to go out and just fuck any and everybody and go and do whatever he want to do or whatever they want to do, depending on who I'm with. I'm not giving you a pass to go out and do whatever you want to do, but I'm also not finna beat you over your head if you slipping some booty or some pussy on some dick. I'm just gonna let you know, don't bring me nothing home to go with what I already got. I don't need nothing extra. I don't need nothing else mixed in this drink. So be careful out there in the streets. And also, if you stay out one too many times, just know that we both might have to go and get tested because I might slip on a few things my damn self. If my needs aren't getting met at home, a man, a woman, I might have to go and get them met somewhere else. Because, see, I'm not one of those beings that's going to be like, I'm just going to stick by them until they get through it and I'm just going to hold the fort down. And no, if you out there who's zooming who, you might have to watch this pussy ass and mouth because I ain't finna be sitting up here watching your dick. I'm watching for a second. I'm trying to watch it enough the way you know that I care and that you mean something to me. Cause I do get, people do kind of give me, do you really care about me? Do you really love me? Cause I can be real nonchalant about things. I can give the air of not being invested. So, maturity has taught me to give enough to whereas your partner doesn't feel like you don't care at all. So I do try to give a little bit more so that I can come off as invested because sometimes I don't even come off as I can come off as I'll take it or leave it. And that's a pride thing that I'm working on, not wanting to show how much I love you or how much I care because there's some trauma from past relationships that have made me feel like I got to have a poker face or a game face. But sometimes, I was telling one of my girlfriends this yesterday. We have to be confident enough to rest in our femininity. We have to be confident enough to be vulnerable because sometimes, these niggas, sometimes our partners, they ain't secure enough in themselves to be vulnerable. So they'll go ahead and ride that fucked up shit to hell, and somebody gotta have enough courage to submit. Submitting takes courage sometimes. Sometimes submitting can save a life. And I struggle with submitting, because I'm a sex change, because I'm viewed as a woman by the world. I'm viewed as soft and weak by most people, by a lot of men, by society. And so it's like I be like, fuck this. And that shit can cost you your love. Your partner can be crying for help, raging against the world, looking for a soft space to land, and you a whole fucking brick. They can't even lay down and get comfortable there. So they steady looking for that soft place to land. And you ain't got no softness left. You completely hard. So this nigga looking for a bed that don't feel like a prison cell. Oh, oh shit. And that's why I'm learning not to be, insecure. I'm learning the strength that it take not to judge people for whatever weird shit. Whatever kink you get into. Like, I'm trying not to be the person that always got to put my mouth on everything because the creator is in everything. The creator is omnipresent. And all these rules and laws and stuff that we made up to try to control each other because we insecure and power hungry and threatened by everything. Y'all want to talk about what's not of God? That's not of God. Because the creator does not have a spirit of fear. And what is insecurity if not fear? What is the need to try to control something with all these rules and laws if not fear? Why do you need to control everything if you're not afraid? So the spirit, that's counter the spirit of God, because the spirit of God, God is the spirit of creator, is not the spirit of fear. So I'm not supposed to be afraid to submit. I'm not supposed to be afraid to humble myself. I'm not supposed to be afraid to be soft. If everybody think being strong is the answer, this gonna be a hard road for everybody. Road just gonna keep getting harder and harder and harder. Road just gonna keep getting harder and harder and harder. Cause we all judging everything and I mean, don't get me wrong, judging to me is not the same as condemning. Judging is, I don't think I want to fuck with that. That's not my thing. I'll pass. Condemning is, that's disgusting. Oh, they going to hell. I don't. Ooh, they should be ashamed of themselves. Why they doing that? That's disgusting. I almost threw up in my mouth. That's so nasty. Like all that extra shit right there. See that right there. See this shit right here. That's condemning. But just to simply say, I know that's right. That's not for me. That's not, girl, I ain't yucking your yum, girl, but that's not, girl. All right. I know that's right. But that's not my thing, though. It's a respectful way to say that's not your thing, without belittling someone, diminishing someone, making them feel like they got the scarlet letter, making them feel like they're they're infested with something, making them feel like an infestation. Like, and I see this a lot in Black culture. And this is why my sympathy for slavery, because we always upholding African culture. But let me tell you something. Everything not the colonizer fault. Because if we're going to be honest, the first colonizers looked like us. Now we mad because the student became the teacher and chose to take it a step further. The student showed up and showed out when it came to slavery. They said, oh no, we're not just going to do indentured servants. We're going to do chattel slavery. And so all of that is rooted in a spirit of fear. You fear something, so you want to subjugate it. so that it won't be a threat, so that it will know its place. And Christians, not all Christians, some of y'all, Christians, all of these patriarchal faiths, for y'all to be so powerful and so dominant, y'all are rooted in a spirit of fear. And y'all want to conquer and control everything that you feel is a threat. But God, the creator, does not have a spirit of fear. Not the true creator. How could a creator be fearful of something that it created? That's like me being afraid of my paintings. Look at her over there. That's my baby. I painted her from head to toe. If I saw her in the middle of the night, woke up out my sleep and saw her standing over me, wouldn't scare me at all. Nah, I seen the damn Santa Claus that scared me. Motherfucker was moving and rocking. It was a black Santa Claus too. That motherfucker scared the shit out of me. Just weird about it, something weird. But I'm not condemning the Santa Claus. I'm just saying that moving and rocking Santa Claus wasn't my thing. So it's the difference between judgment and condemnation. You know. I'm going to stand 10 toes down. I'm going to stand on business on that. I don't think that judgment and condemnation are the same thing. I think that condemnation is the extreme of judgment. I think that condemnation is the perversion of judgment. Yeah. I think condemnation is a perversion of a judgment. Amen, amen. And I think that a lot of our insecurities are out of a spirit of fear. And I'm gonna tell you who I think, I just titled this "Who is the most insecure?" really just for clickbait. But I do think that trans people, um, I don't think that we are necessarily the most insecure of the three because we've never really had the luxury of feeling like we could have folks to ourselves. Depending on the generation, because this new generation, trans women getting men and having them to themselves, and I'm so happy for y'all, the trans men getting women or whoever you dating, y'all, this new generation, y'all coming in, claiming your own, getting your own, and I'm so proud of y'all. This is what we went through, so that y'all could, experience your own selfish love affair. So you could be selfish. You can be selfish with your partners. We suffered and sacrificed and put our business out so y'all could get a generation to be selfish. But in my generation, you came in this thing understanding that you was gonna have to share. You was gonna have to share with a woman who was born with a womb. You're gonna have to share with a BWW, the birth womb woman. You was gonna have to share. We understood that. That was how it was. It was an unspoken understanding. We were sharing. We couldn't be insecure because from the door we was often the mistress, the secret lover, yeah, that's what you are. And we try so hard, it's what we feel. You belong to someone else, but we can't say no to what we feel. It's all so real. Yes, honey. Secret love. That's what we are, and we try. I. Ooh, Escape had a song too that was about sneaking around. But we was always like this generation. Y'all got the luxury. You know what I'm saying? That gets y'all on, but we came in the game. We sharing, and then once, and then if we got him and he was gay, even if he wasn't, even if he wasn't straight, because if he was straight, we had to share him with the females, and if he was gay, we had to share him with the men's. If he was gay, we had to share him with the bunnies, the bush queens, and if he was straight, we had to share him with the women's. So we always had to share. We never had the luxury of being able to say, "This for me. This all for me." So when it comes to insecurity, I'm not going to say there's some trans women who are not insecure. But I am going to say, in large part, insecurity has not been a luxury that has been afforded to us. So I don't see us as a whole being the most insecure, because we've always understood sharing is caring. We've always understood it takes a village. We've always been involved in polyamory, whether we agree to it or not. So I definitely don't feel like trans would be the most insecure of the three. I think that men do a good job of pretending not to be insecure, but we know how they show their insecurities. They show their insecurities by throwing money at you and constantly giving you things so that they can have access to your personal space, so that they try to treat you like a possession or treat you like property so that they can always have access to your personal space. Everything you have, they got ties to it. Your car, your shoes, your clothes, the house, everything that you have access to, it's all because of him. And it can be taken away by him if you wasn't smart enough to get it in your name. And so insecurity in men shows up in a different way. This need to control you through monetary things and through material things. This need to control your space. This need to have access to your space through lavishing you with things, through giving you things. And so if you're a girl who likes to have some control, you have to be able to resist that, or you have to be able to accept those things and still be able to put your foot down and say, oh, okay, I'm going to take all these things, but you're still not going to have control over me. And that doesn't always work out for everyone. You have to be a seasoned veteran to know how to navigate that. So insecurities with men will show up in a different way. They will try to control your movements through, giving you this and giving you that, giving you this and giving you that, giving you this and giving you that. And if he ain't got no money, he'll try to control you through doing things that he wouldn't normally do in relationships. Like giving head and busting his booty open. He'll try to control you through sex. Try to do things to you that other people ain't done. Now, I'm not going to say that every man that does that is doing that as a need to control you. But I will say that some men do it for that reason. He was never intending on doing that. He gave you that because he was trying to control you. He gave you, like, I can't tell you, like, the stories of men when they came home from prison. They trying to hold on to you, and they'd have learned some tricks while they was in prison. And so they want to come home, and then all of a sudden he want to give head. All of a sudden he want to bottom. because he done practiced in jail. All of a sudden, he won't go ahead and give you these things that he was never willing to give you before, that he never wanted to do before. But now, since he know he finna be out here thotting around, he know he finna be out here doing his thing, he know he finna be out here sowing his oats, he gonna go ahead and bust it open for you first. You gonna be the first one he give it to on the streets, because he gave it away in jail already. It ain't new mouth. It ain't new bussy. Did you hear them farts? Them cookies is whistling. Them cookies is whistling. That mean the seal on them cookies have been tampered with. When them cookies doing this, them cookies is whistling. So them cookies been tampered with. You don't fool me. I see. See, I'm a seasoned girl. I know when a man been tampered with, how his booty, how them farts sound. See, if them farts real wet farts, wet farts, that's a telltale. Nigga farts too wet. That booty open. So you could tell a lot about a man by his farts. Telling you. That's that old folk wisdom right there. Listen for them farts. If he fought and it's not uncomfortable for him to fight, and he could just let out a big old wet fight with no problem, just a big old a fight where you think he might have shit himself, and it just come out effortlessly with no problems, the seal have been broken on them cookies. You ain't got to guess. You ain't got to wonder. You ain't got to stick your finger in the booty hole. You ain't got to play. Just listen to the whistle of that ass, and it will let you know if the seal on them cookies have been broken. And I'm not judging. I'm not judging. Let me tell you something. If I love my man and my man want me to strap him, I will strap him. I will put on a dildo and I will dig in them cookies for him. I will blow his back out with a dildo. So I am not judging, but what I will judge is you lying about you getting your back blown out. That's what I will judge. I will judge you for that. I'm not judging you for the act. I'm judging you for lying about the act. I'm judging you for having a whistling booty, and I know why your booty is whistling, and you won't tell me why. 'Cause I can't tell you why. No, baby, I can't tell you why. I can't tell you why. I'm judging you for that. That's it. Not because your booty is loose, but that your booty is loose. We know why, and you're not telling me why it's loose. And I don't care how many kegels and squats and whatever type of butt muscle exercises you're doing, that booty's still whistling. It's a gape. It's a gape going on there. Escaping. You're escaping whole, giving gaping. Spill that. You need to tell that. Come clean. Come clean. That's all I'm saying. I don't mind you doing it. Just explain to me. Just tell me the truth. I might want to watch. I might want to see you get a big old ping in you. Because I can't take no big old dicks. Not no more. I like having grip on my booty hole, and my pussy is small, so I can't take big old dicks. I still like to see other people take them, so I might want to watch you take a big one. Because one thing that still turns me on, and one of the things that I did used to like when I had a penis, and I used to dig the boys' cakes out, I did used to like hearing niggas moan from getting fucked in their ass. I like pleasure. I like to see you excited. I like to see you feeling good. I like to see you enjoying yourself. It wasn't so much of me having my penis inside of his booty hole. It wasn't so much that. It was the look of freedom and relaxation and the moaning. It was you looking like you invested in it. Like that was you just seeing you be vulnerable and submissive. That turned me on. I didn't like putting my penis inside of booty holes. That wasn't really my thing. But I did like to see how the boys acted when the penis was inside their booty hole. You was talking all that shit and you macho man. Now you sitting up here squirming and uh it's arching your back and everything. I liked it there. I liked it to see that. I liked it there. I'm not gonna lie. I will watch that. I'm not a big gay porn person because gay porn is not centering me. So that's the difference. I don't go on like I have watched gay porn. I'm not gonna say that I've never watched it. I watch it every blue moon till I can't tell you when the last time I watched some. But if it was a live show and I could participate, if there was some titties and ass and some pussy around and two men was having, I would be all there for it. Cause I need to see, I don't want to just see a nigga and a nigga. I want to see a nigga and a nigga and some pussy. Give me some titties and some pussy somewhere. But, I used to like to see men doing it to women together and see their penises going inside the pussy and rubbing each other together. Because we know that's a little homosexual. We know that's a little queer, right? Your dick rubbing another nigga dick inside this woman pussy. Even if your dick is in her asshole and his dick is in her pussy, these dicks is touching, it's a wall in between them, but they still rubbing each other. And I know y'all balls is touching each other balls. Come on now. Y'all getting off on being that close to each other. Come on now. Come on now. I never wanted to be the girl. I ain't gonna lie, I have had a train run on me. I have had a train run on me. I'm not proud of it. That was not my fantasy. It was, I was I was at a low moment in my life. I'm not proud of it. I had a train run on me. And but if I would have just, there's been moments where I've had two men at one time and I really enjoyed myself. But I don't think I've had I had one train run on me since I've been post-op, but I don't think that I've had like a threesome with two males. Like I had a trans man and a cis man, but I've never been with two dudes, and it was like a sober minded thing, like or even a drunk minded thing. Like I've never been with two cis niggas post-op. Um at all. But I did have a train on me, ran on me one time, um, and I was just at a low moment. It was shameful. Um, but yeah, but that was attractive to me. Like the vagina, two dicks, and if they was comfortable with having with each other, like I don't see anything wrong with that. I don't have nothing against homosexuality. But for me, I think there has to be something else involved. Like I don't want three dicks. you know, and not necessarily two pussies in one dick. I think one pussy and two dicks is good. I don't know if I would be the one that would take these dicks because my pussy is small, so I can't take no big old dick. So, like I said, if my husband like to get plowed out every now and then, if the other partner got a big old dick, like my husband, the one who would be mainly penetrating me, would have to have, would have to have a smaller penis. I wouldn't want him to have a big ping, the one that would be diving at me. And then maybe my husband, he could have a big piece, that would be diving in him. And maybe every now and then I would give, his piece a little head or something. But, that piece would be really for you. That big piece would be really your piece. Like, that's your piece. You got that. I'm not no size queen. I never been a size queen. Even before I got my sex change, I wasn't a size queen. So that piece would be really for him. Child, I done went all to the left. I've been on this been on this life for hours. And can you believe it? I'm not high. I'm not drunk. I'm just naturally goofy. I'm goofy as hell, y'all. I'm so serious. This is why sometimes smoking weed is necessary. Look at my daughter. But yeah, let me y'all get out her face. But yeah, I think I talked about enough in this video. I feel a little better. I done laughed. I done cried. I done talked about sex. I done talked about insecurities. And I'm just serious. Like, I don't want to move on to my next relationship and be insecure. Like, yeah, I don't want to be with an insecure person. I want them to be protective of me, and I want them to be invested in me, but I don't want them to be insecure. Um, and I don't want to be insecure. I want us to trust each other. And like I said, if you go out and you go and do some stuff, be respectful. Don't do it in my face, unless we done discussed it. You know what I'm saying? Talk to some people with some tact and some coos, that have respect, and know how to, play their part, because who knows? Maybe this might be your seat, maybe this might be your relationship soon. And the respect that you show the last partner is the respect you want shown to you. That's all I got for this video. Anyway, I love y'all. I'm about to fix me something to eat. Down but none that I say cool, it keeps spinning and turning. Ian Gani, Iyanko Kalukalo, which means I'm a Cheddar God Goddess. And if I am, you are. Yes, I was all over the place in this video. But I think you have to, watch this and unpack it piece by piece, because I was talking about a lot of shit. Like, yeah. And I wasn't even high. Normally I ramble more when I'm high. But I guess I just had a lot of thoughts on my mind. I guess I just been working with a lot of information. And so I was over here talking about bestiality and pedophilia. Then I was talking about insecurity. Then I was talking about the spirit. I was just all over the place. I was omnipresent, huh? I know that's right. Anyway, I love y'all. Talk to you later. Mwah.